In this video, I shall give a demonstration of creating a node matrix. Let's click on Explore and then click on Matrix Coding. If I click on plus, I can select my items. And I'm going to just select all my interview transcripts. And then in the columns, I'm going to choose some coded themes. And the ones I'm going to be interested in now are fishing, fish houses, commercial fishing, natural environment, and industry. Now I can specify files, and this might be particularly useful if you've got a number of files for a particular case, for a particular participant. In this case, I would leave that and just simply run the query. A chart's produced automatically, and it gives an indication about who has the most codes. And since it's auto-coded, it's probably telling us really who says most about the different topics. Let's go back to that node matrix. So we can see it there on the screen. If we wish to, we can transpose the matrix so that the rows become columns and the columns become rows. So that can sometimes be an easier way to navigate. I'm going to transpose that back again. So now I have my participants in the rows again. And I can easily see what they've said on the codes just by clicking on them. So if I click on the number 3, we will find another window pops up and they're the codes. And if I want to go back to the actual data set, to that document, I can just click on Barbara's file to see those particular coded extracts that are all about fishing in detail. So I just go back here to my matrix. That was all about commercial fishing. Now, because this is based on auto-coding and each sentence was auto-coded, this means we have 7 sentences for Margaret about fishing, or 4 sentences for Charles about fishing. So it does give an indication of how much of the interview was about the talk, a specific code, in this case fishing or industry, etc. But we do have to be very careful in how we interpret the charts and not to be tempted to ascribe to the charts that high numbers equals importance. That's certainly not always the case. We need to look carefully to see what has been said. If I click above, I can have a color-coded chart so we can see the most densely coded cells. So in this case, 7 being the most coded cell is the darkest. And I can choose a different color code if I so choose. And I think this one's quite useful. So it's the same color, but just showing simple density of codings. I can save the results. And I can add the results to project. Okay, so I'm just adding here. Name cannot be empty. So no matrix or training. videos. Okay, now under search on the left hand side, if I click in Node Matrix, we should see that it's not quite added to the project yet. The run query. Save results. So Alima, this bit here, obviously, it's one a bit wrong. So if you can just take this out of the video, please. And so we'll start again now, Halima. And so if we want to save this to the project, we would just add to project. The other thing I can do is to export, and simply we export the node matrix. Right click on the matrix, export, and it will be saved as an Excel sheet. And click save, saving it in the folder that you need to save it in. So the matrices can be very useful for a number of reasons. We can compare nodes with nodes. So we might compare one set of nodes with another set of nodes to look to see if there's a relationship, or here we're looking at participants with nodes. Tend to use it in different ways. So one way I would be perhaps making quite large matrices that I would just use to see, well, are there any codes that seem to be particularly dominant within the interview? Much like looking at hierarchy charts, but also looking to see across, are there some interviewees that are particularly talking about one code compared with another code? And then towards the end of project, once I have an analysis and know what it is I want to show to the reader, I'd make a smaller and more refined node matrix that I might be able to then use as a table for demonstration purposes within a publication.